Good evening, everybody. This is Kyle Reddell with the Reddell Solution Show. I appreciate you tuning in. First off, I just want to say thank you to everybody who took the time to check out the first episode, to leave feedback. I'm going to cover some of that feedback tonight. I want to bring at least answers to some of the questions, and I'll work to implement changes on the rest of it. I just appreciate Chris, Lisa, Mike, Karen. You all asked questions, you all gave feedback, and it really means the world to me that you took time to do that. So I'm going to cover that. My main focus this evening is going to be all around execution. I think execution is the big difference between those individuals who find success and those who don't. A lot of people get stuck in either analysis paralysis or they get stuck in idea central and never take those ideas and formulate a business plan or a business case, bring it to the table, and actually execute on it. So, we're going to talk about ways that you could do that. Let's just jump right into it. I think Karen put out there that I need to talk about the solutions I provide. So, I want to let everybody know one of my passions is to work with other individuals who have aspirations of ascending within a business, getting a promotion, getting a raise, and putting together a plan to execute on how to do that. I have a really strong track record doing this. I've worked with over 15 individuals in corporate America, and every single one of them has either achieved a raise or gotten a promotion. Some of my largest successes have been working with individuals with a significant amount of talent and high school diplomas, not a college degree, but a high school diploma, and helping them get into positions that had a prerequisite for a college diploma. And my last two that I worked with both doubled their salary. So I think that's pretty fantastic. And it was just wonderful to see these individuals ascend to that level that they aspired to be at. And if you're interested in this, if you want to know some of the things that I did to help these individuals, message me, put a little comment down there. I will give you some feedback and share with you. So I'll bring that to the table from a solution standpoint. Lisa also mentioned, what were some of my successes with businesses, some of the things, some of the results that I've driven. I'll give you examples from a quantifiable standpoint, and then we can also get into some of the contextual stuff. So I'll kick that off real quick. When I was a business process manager, I managed a project portfolio where I created these projects and solutions for a corporation and drove in 1 year $2.8 million in savings. I did things like reduce overtime by $208,000, driving that value right to the bottom line, increased employee productivity by 7.5%, reduced costs by almost 1 cent per line, and with a distribution center that was doing over 1 million lines a month, 1 cent per line added up to a lot over the year. I've done things like increase employee utilization by 4.2%, at the same time improving their performance or their utilization by 2.4%. So not only were they more productive by 4.2%, they were also more utilized and on task 2.4% of the time. When you have a huge workforce of over 250 employees at one facility and they're that much more utilized and that much more productive, it adds up to a lot. Other things that I've done is drive business growth of 19%, which is over $1 billion in revenue. I have opened up brand new business units, driving up revenue over 10x. I've driven revenue even higher than that. Some revenue from 1,000 up to 40,000, from 40,000 up to 250,000. So I have experience in not just big business, but small business at the same time. My background, I was the number one salesman in sales and marketing up in Dallas, Fort Worth for a knife company. I also did retail. I did service industry. I was a bar manager and a bartender where we drove bars up to the highest grossing per square foot. Those type of results and those types of solutions are things that I have in my past. So as I share content with you, I want to make sure that you understand I'm not just speaking theoretically here. I am going to be bringing you value and content that comes from experience of things that I've done. And I'm not just sitting up here blowing smoke. I think there's plenty of people that do that. I'm a practitioner, I'm an operator, and I'm a salesman. And those are my passions. I'll tell you one of my other focuses, or one of the things that I love to do, is bring value, like I was talking about earlier, to individuals and seeing them take things to the next level. So one thing that I want to talk about today is Og Mandino's book, The Greatest Salesman in the World. And I want to share with you a little excerpt about persistence. This is one of the two books that has changed my life. Og Mandino, The Greatest Salesman in the World. And
on this episode, this talent.
My Utmost for His Highest. That was Gary Vaynerchuk. I mentioned him yesterday. Karen pointed out some of the people watching might not know who Gary V is. So Gary Vaynerchuk, Vaynerchuck. Look him up on YouTube. Look him up on Instagram, Facebook. Tons of free content. It's amazing. So within executing and within the ups and downs in business, you're going to have to learn to persist through obstacles and roadblocks. Sometimes you're going to have to manage up, meaning you manage your boss. Sometimes you're going to have to manage out, like your counterparts. And sometimes you're going to have to manage down, obviously, if you have employees. So persistence is one of the secrets to making sure that you last long enough and you execute to get to the next level. So be patient in your persistence, but persist nonetheless. So this is the scroll marked 3, Og Mandino, The Greatest Salesman in the World. I will persist until I succeed. In the Orient, young bulls are tested for the fight arena in a certain manner. Each is brought to the ring and allowed to attack a picador who pricks them with a lance. The bravery of each bull is then rated with care according to the number of times he demonstrates his willingness to charge in spite of the sting of the blade. Henceforth will I recognize that each day I am tested by life in like manner. If I persist, if I continue to try, if I continue to charge forward, I will succeed. I will persist until I succeed. I was not delivered into this world in defeat, nor does failure course in my veins. I'm not a sheep waiting to be prodded by my shepherd. I am a lion, and I refuse to talk, to walk, to sleep with the sheep. I will hear not those who weep and complain, for their disease is contagious. Let them join the sheep. The slaughterhouse of failure is not my destiny. I will persist until I succeed. The prizes of life are at the end of each journey, not near the beginning, and it is not given to me to know how many steps are necessary in order to reach my goal. Failure I may still encounter at the 1,000th step, yet success hides behind the next bend in the road. Never will I know how close it lies unless I turn the corner. Always will I take another step. If that is of no avail, I will take another and yet another. In truth, one step at a time is not too difficult. I will persist until I succeed. So I love Og Mandino, man. He gets me fired up. I love how he's so passionate, and the words he uses are so impactful. From talking about how in the Orient young bulls are graded for the fight arena by how willing they are to charge, even though they know there's a sword there that's going to stab them. I think that's fantastic because every single day life treats us the exact same way. Our bosses, sometimes our significant others, our families, they treat us this way. And what you have to do is you have to persist. You have to execute. You have to bring your uniqueness to the world and paint your picture and write your song every day, because if you don't, nobody else is going to do it for you. And then you don't have your chance to become all these things that you dream. And I know you have aspirations, so you must persist and you must execute. I love this next piece where it talks about how I am not a sheep waiting to be prodded by my shepherd. I'm a lion, and I refuse to talk, to walk, to sleep with the sheep. There's tons of sheep out there. Don't be a sheep. You're not. In your dreams, when you're sitting at home alone or when you're thinking about the next thing you're going to do, you're a lion in your head and in your soul and in your spirit. So just make sure that your own anxieties don't weigh you down and you don't bring that to the table. And the greatest way to burn off those anxieties and those what ifs is to execute. As you take one step at a time, the next one becomes a little bit easier. You build up a little bit of momentum. If you push a little bit every day, you push a lot over time. And once that will gets going, it's hard to stop the momentum. And now success kind of takes over for you. So I hope that hit home for some of you. I hope that brought some value. I know Chris Ballman had asked about some of the ups and downs within businesses that I've experienced. I'll tell you what, everybody, when I left in the summer from a nice salary and a solid future with a company, I was out there. I felt like I was out there alone. And it's funny how quickly a lot of people that were with you before all of a sudden aren't with you now. So I guess that's one thing that I will leave also is I stayed with this particular business for just north of 8 years. And I wanted to not be the atypical millennial who spends 2 years here and spends 2 years here and spends 2 years here. But one of my mentors hit the nail on the head when he told me the business doesn't care. And in reality, I found out that the business doesn't care. So if you're there and you're questioning about taking a leap of faith or doing something that you're passionate about, do it and do it now. Don't wait. Your loyalty falls on deaf ears because those managers who saw you be loyal, they're either gone or they've moved up and now they're not the decision makers. So throw loyalty out of the window. It doesn't amount for anything, and nor does it pay your bills after you leave. So I think maybe that'll be a little bit about the ups and downs, and we can talk more about that later. But I think persistence in execution will help you succeed. So for any of the individuals out here who have aspirations of being more impactful, getting a raise, driving forward execution within their business, I'm going to leave you with a little tip that comes from, I picked it up from the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I hear that it's also in Grant Cardone's book. I think that's 10X or the 10X book by somebody. When you are planning your day, try to do it before the day starts, so the night before. If it's Friday, you can plan for your Monday. And you want to list your task or your objectives in an impact effort matrix. And what that means is take the things that you want to achieve and grade them along how much effort you have to put in to reach the intended goal or the impact. And you can grade them from highest amount of impact to the least amount of effort. Do the first one as A, do the next one as B, then C, then D, and you go through this task hierarchically and bring A to a close, bring B to a close, bring C to a close. I call this the bullet point approach rather than a shotgun approach. With a shotgun, you spray a shell, scatter shot, meaning that you've got a little bit of attention on all these different tasks, probably missing the mark, whereas with a bullet point approach, you're much more likely to hit the target. So that is the episode 2 of the Reddell Solutions daily vlog, the Reddell Solutions show. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe. You can find me on Instagram at Kyle Steven Reddell, on Facebook as Kyle Steven Reddell, and LinkedIn is the same. Thank you for stopping by. There'll be more to come. Take care.